Welcome to Akancha Against Harassment, your Cyber Safety 101 podcast. And we are back with Karan Joseph, advocate from Bangalore. Hi Karan, how are you doing?
I'm good, Akancha. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming back here. And, there's a very pointed, focused discussion which we need to do today, because a lot of male audience which listens into this podcast, a lot of male audience which comes through the chat, they have a very important question addressed to you. And they feel in general that the Indian law is biased in favor of women. And their question is, what happens if ever a man, gets abused online or is trolled, blackmailed, threatened? They feel that they will not even be heard. Nobody is going to believe them. So what do you do in a situation like that, Karan? What's your view there?
Okay, I do see some merit in why men and women feel that way. To begin with, for example, all of the offences, the new offences that came into the Indian Penal Code post-Nirbhaya with respect to sexual harassment, voyeurism, stalking,
right.
All of these, in fact, protect only women.
Right.
And I think in this day and age, for someone to say that only a woman can be sexually harassed or stalked is a little far-fetched.
True.
The way I see it, these sections have to be gender neutral and have to include men as well. That being said, I think it's also something in terms of, it's a reality in India that if you look at the statistics, it is women who are harassed more.
Yeah.
And that's probably why we haven't gotten to a stage yet where these laws are gender neutral. And I do hope that at some point in time they do become gender neutral, but I don't think we can discount these offences only because they're not gender neutral.
Yeah.
Everything being equal, it is women who suffer more and therefore need perhaps not more protection, but protection nonetheless. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean that men have absolutely nothing to go with. These three sections that I gave you, of course, are not gender neutral. But there are other sections, especially under the IT Act, which makes absolutely no distinction between man and woman.
Right.
So if a man were to be sexually harassed, abused, whatever online, then it's the exact same advice that I would give a woman, which is to keep all this information, store it, make copies of it, file a complaint.
Right.
And the law will take its course.
So I just want to complement a little bit of information there to what you already said. According to the social media statistics right now in India, there are projected about 250 million odd social media users in India, out of which about 71% are men and only 29% are women. So somewhere there's disproportionate access. And, there are a lot of historical, evolutionary reasons for it. I think that also leads to, need of more protection for women, as we spoke about. But I absolutely agree with you that, there's no reason why someone, if a man is seriously aggrieved, there's no reason why he won't be heard. And we've seen some cases on social media, where men were harassed and they did, take proper action and they did get heard. So there's no reason why that shouldn't happen.
That's right.
Yeah. And, Karan, I'm going to ask you a question which is not just, directed to you as a lawyer. I think also as a responsible person, in Indian society and representing, a certain educated class. I need you to please, talk to my listeners and tell them what is it which you would advise if a dear friend of yours, if somebody you knew who was close to you, if they were ever harassed seriously, what would you advise them to do? Would you tell them to just move on, or would you tell them to stand up, speak up and just, take it head on? And why?
The first thing I would tell them is that it's not their fault and there's nothing to be ashamed about. They don't have to hide whatever has happened. Thereafter, I'd obviously want to tell them that, look, if you do go to court, if you do go to police, the police will definitely find out who's done this. In this day and age, it is almost impossible for someone to do things online without leaving a footprint. And the police are highly efficient technologically to find whoever the perpetrator is. Now, of course, I don't think I can straitjacket it and say that all victims will file a police complaint, and that is a personal decision as to whether they want to go ahead, pursue it, or to ignore it. Of course, there may come a stage when it keeps happening where it's incapable to ignore it.
Right.
But if you take a decision to actually go ahead and pursue the complaint, rest assured, 9 out of 10 times, if not more, the police will find out who's done it.
That's very reassuring, and I think one of the most important statements which I relate to personally is that the shame of abuse never lies with the victim. It always lies with the abuser.
Right.
And
absolutely.
I think I can say that with some authority because I went through that and I went through a devastating experience. And well, I did speak about it, and a few million people in the last 11 months have gotten up and supported it. So the world today is changing, isn't it, Karan? We see many of
the... Just to add on, sorry, Akancha, I'm sorry to interrupt, but just to add on to what you said in terms of how it's always the shame of the perpetrator.
Yeah.
You've also got to look at the fact that once you do file a complaint and once this person is arrested, man or woman, whoever this perpetrator is, going to be impossible to get bail. It's going to be insulting. They're going to have to report to the police station every now and then. So if anything, the shame becomes theirs.
Absolutely. So I was speaking to someone about this balance of fear, the power which fear has on you can be immediately shifted back to the abuser the day you stand up and speak. You have handed it back to him, saying,
absolutely.
Thanks, I don't want it. It's yours. And now you defend yourself because you're the one who has to make more rounds to the police station and to the court. Keep defending yourself. I have already provided all information.
Exactly. And to take that a little further, really, who's going to be spending now? On lawyers. It's going to be the perpetrators, on lawyers, on bail.
That's true.
All of that. It's not going to be the victim. It's going to be the perpetrator.
Absolutely. And that's amazing too, because at the end of the day, it's always the abuser who should be penalized for his or her actions. So
absolutely.
This has been very encouraging and very motivating. And I want to thank you, Karan, that, you spent your time again on coming back to this podcast. And I'm sure people are going to send in more questions to us and try to understand our legal systems better. And thank you so very much, Karan.
Thank you, Akancha. It's been an absolute pleasure being involved with your organization. Hats off to you for taking something people don't talk about out there to, like you said, a couple million people.
For everyone listening in to Akancha Against Harassment podcast, I want to make a request to you. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts in your mind, you want any more information, I hope you have my Twitter ID, which is AKANCHAS. I repeat, it's AKANCHAS. So tweet to me. Thank you.